All right, we are here doing the instructions for our brush holder, but this will be applicable. All right, and here we are. We're doing the instructions for our brush holder. However, these instructions will basically work for any of our other modular MDF pieces. So we're going to start out here. I've already kind of punched out one of the spots where the little shelves slot in, but sometimes you're going to run into just where the laser doesn't catch every single little particle, and I try and punch these out whenever I'm shipping them. However, sometimes they won't always get through there, so you can just use one of the little things that you've already punched out and just punch them right through. There should be little to no resistance. If it does give you some trouble, you can always go from the back as well, and you can see where it's trying to cut out, and that's pretty much it. So one of the things that you want to be wary of whenever you're putting this together for the first time is MDF has basically a little film on top of so it has like one little film, another little film, and then just everything, like all the press board on the inside. So whenever you're doing these, you want to make sure, because we try and make it to where you don't have to have any kind of glue if you don't want to. So something to have handy is going to be like a little sanding stick, and you want to just kind of go in here and just sand a little bit of the edges, because whenever you're putting in the shelves, you want to make sure that the shelf can kind of fit in snugly, but you don't want it to be too snug and tear off the top layer of the MDF. So I'll kind of show you here. So this is the first shelf, and you always want to before you fit all the shelves into one side, you want to fit it into both of the side supports. The reason why is because you want to make sure that that both sides are going to be relatively easy to put together, because once you get all the shelves ready to put on both of the ends, it can be a little bit of a fiddly bit to make sure everything fits together the first time you're trying to do it. Whenever you get used to doing this kind of stuff, then you want to make sure it'll be a lot easier. So here I'm just kind of sanding a little bit of the edges here. You don't have to go too much. You just want to make sure that whenever you're putting it in, you put it in a little bit at an angle, like so, and then right like that. So take that one out, and then you basically flip to the other side, and then do it on this side, and then that one fit right in just fine. So now that you kind of pre-fit this one, the cool thing about our brush holder is that you can flip either side if you're left-handed or right-handed, and you want to have your big water cup and a small thinner cup or something like that, and you can flip it however you need to orient your stuff. So we're going to go ahead and do it on this side here. Then we're going to start with we're going to move on to the second one. We're just going to go ahead and just sand these down just a little bit. Again, you don't have to do these too much, just enough just to kind of give it a bit of a rounded edge. And sometimes this isn't even required. I just like to do it. It makes it a little bit easier. It makes the process a little bit quicker. So then you want to basically line up this with this little bit here, and then kind of go in at an angle again, like that, and we're in, and then go over to this side and do the same thing, because you just want to make sure they fit both ways. So there we go. Then we're going to go to the third one, and all of our shelves are going to be etched with basically, kind of where they stand in the tier list. So these two are just basically the bottoms, and you have tier 1, which is the first brush holder, then tier 2, and then the final one, which is the top. So then we're going to go ahead and just do this again real quick. And just because I don't like to, you don't really want to, you probably don't want to look at this. So you want to put basically the T1 facing downward so you don't see it whenever you're finished putting it together. So there's that first one, then take it out and just kind of flip that in and then back in again. And then same thing for this one. There's T2, which is the largest one because it needs to hold both the bottom and the top of the other brush shelves. So something like that. And we have it set to where basically there's no real way that you can kind of like put them in wrong. So here we go. Again, you want to put it at an angle just to make it fit in there really well. Then go over here. And it doesn't always have to be the same. Like I'm just testing it to make sure that it fits on both sides. And here we go. Just putting it in like that. Then we have the final one. That, and then we will go ahead and get this one in like so, and then right there. All right, so we're gonna put that in. Then we just have our little support piece that helps basically stop the brushes in this tier to make sure that they don't go all the way to the floor, and so they're a little bit of a tiered space. And then you basically want to put it into this slot right here. And then again at an angle, just want to fit it in there, and then make sure it fits over on this side. It's just fine, like so. So whenever you're doing the final piece here, you want to basically start at the top and then basically fit it in as you go down to where you're doing the last two here. So, and this can be, it can be a challenge. It's most of the time pretty easy, but you want to start here, then you just want to move the little pieces or each shelf kind of into the slot because it's going to have a decent amount of play. And so it doesn't have to be pushed all the way in because you still need to get everything else for the other shelves in there. So there's that. Then we have support 1, and then the final piece right here, and then boom, you're done. And you just want to kind of push it on the sides here a little bit, push those in just to make sure everything's nice and snug, and we're done. So like I said, you don't have to glue any of these. However, it is recommended just to make sure that everything stays nice and secure. But there you go.